Well, Alhaji Yerima Shettima joins us now. He's the national president, Arewa Youth Consultative Forum. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning, Chamberlain.
Well, so much making the rounds about this particular matter, the latest of which we highlighted at the initial stage, opening sequence, where Boko Haram offered to negotiate the chosen members to be headed by retired General Buhari, who in turn says he will not negotiate with this group. And now everyone seems to just have different opinion about this matter. What's yours on this?
Yeah, my take on this is the development is a welcome development by General Buhari not to have in the first place accept the issue of this negotiating, because I'm one of those who even run down to him and a few other individuals who spoke to them at our level to say that this is not an issue to consider, because the issue is neither here or there. Neither here or there, in a sense that either way you look at it, it has a political undertone, and why Buhari among all. Previous people were forwarded in the name of this same group to negotiate. I could remember vividly the first name was Dr. Ibrahim Detti, who was leader of a Supreme Council of Sharia. I could remember also there was this case of subsequent name they keep mentioning. As a result of that, to a large extent, some of us had to sit down and look at the whole issue holistically, and we discovered that it's one of those gimmicks by some groups to just sit down and just make all sorts of things. And with the level of Buhari position in Nigeria and being a strong opposition to the government, and at the same time, one of the arrowhead in northern politics, some of us felt uncomfortable, and we felt that, can you just go down and sit down with people that are not visible, that are not in touch with you, they just sit down on website, they just make a statement, and suddenly people fall into that. For how long will this continue? And so we felt the best way was for him to decline. There are 1,001 Buhari we have in northern part of the country that are not in any way associated with politics.
So
they can come up.
What you suspect is the authenticity of this particular Boko Haram. You don't think
right now we have a lot of Boko Harams in the country, because on one hand you have these people who feel slight on one way because their leader was extrajudicially killed. That was the first body. And on the second hand, you have a situation where you have an armed robber also claiming to be Boko Haram. You have a situation also where the politicians within themselves, which hunt their oppositions, all in the name of Boko Haram. So at the end of the day, which group do you deal with? Now, is it the group that just come and say, okay, we need to negotiate with the government? Then if somebody goes in there at the end of the day and the negotiation fail, who is going to be held responsible? But there are a lot of issues on ground.
There are other politicians that were selected aside from the retired general. But what's your opinion about them?
I don't have a problem with those ones, but particularly I'm more interested about Buhari.
Why?
But this is a man I can count for. This is somebody I work close with, and this is somebody I know his level of understanding, his philosophy, his principle, and so on and so forth. So I see it more like an indictment.
But don't you?
Because already there are finger pointing that the northern people, because of Luke's grip, because they lose a grip of power, they are part and parcel of this issue. In order to make this government unstable, they keep also instigating these actions and inactions and so on and so forth. So to me, I see it more like an indictment.
But don't you see it as that should have been part of the conditions? I mean, because one of the key things that you have raised is the authenticity of this group. How do you differentiate those who are truly aggrieved? I mean, say the original Boko Haram, those whose leader was killed, and those who are
the truth of the matter is that
groups.
the truth of the matter
I'm not
is
landed with
whatever, whether they are genuine or not genuine.
Yes.
The issue is here. Why do we, in the first instance, encourage such kind of action for whatever agitations somebody has against this? For whatever agitation, does not worth taking the life of an average man,
what kind of actions?
An innocent Nigerian?
What kind of actions?
The action of this violence all over. What kind of agitation?
On the part of who? Boko Haram?
Yeah, on the part of Boko Haram right now. Why? Are they making a point? Some of us are product of struggle. We've come a long way since the dark days of military. But at no time we make an agenda of taking the life of an innocent Nigerian because we are trying to make a point. So at this point, this whole action must be seen as devilish. It's evil. So what are you negotiating for? Negotiating that this is their condition, or what did they say? Or you are dealing with people you've not seen? Then you just wake up one day, you charter a plane because we have so much fund and resources, carry people with big agbadas and so on and so forth, then fly them up to Saudi Arabia and just sit down to see who, where, venue, how. Is Saudi Arabia part of this arrangement? How?
So it's a bad idea to negotiate in the first place?
No, in the first place, it's not even encouraging to me. If you do that, it means you are going to continue negotiating more for more of this. The government must have a political will to address this issue. This whole issue is that, yes, there are agreed party. The government should identify those issues and address them squarely. Bring in the people who are the original suspects of this whole issue. The governor of Borno State is there moving freely. Nobody arrested him. That is a trace. Trace the whole root of the matter. Go back to the former governor of Borno State, in person of Modu Sharif. There are some other senators who were already pointed out in the course of confessional statement by most of these guys. What are you waiting for? How can we get to the root of the matter without going back to the drawing board to get these people on board? Why is it the government protecting this man? What interest does the government have? The government of the day, in person of the president, came out even publicly to tell the world that even the Boko Haram are even in this government. So what is he waiting for? But why are some people considered to be more bigger than the law, or somehow they cannot be brought to book or something?
So by not openly questioning or inviting former governor of Borno State,
that would be the starting point.
What about the two senators who are answering questions?
They should be brought to book altogether. The police who were responsible for the killing of that young man should be brought to book. What was their reason? Who instructed them to kill this young man?
The case is in court with that particular one. So they should see the process through no matter what happens.
They should see it through.
You know, very soon we most likely will play the track of retired General Muhammadu Buhari. If you listen to it, a host of people will say that there was not as much criticism for Boko Haram as there was for the federal government. Would you agree?
I'm not getting you. Come again.
I mean, one of the things that you have said now is that the group is devilish. The group, you don't take, no matter what the struggle is, you don't take other people's lives to push you. And that should be condemned. A host of people feel that they haven't heard this criticism or this condemnation strongly enough. Do you think that that should have been the line of General Buhari's, the thrust of his
Buhari
of
made
his
his
speech?
position very clear 2 days ago. He said he can't